You know the feeling. It happens 12 times a year, usually on the 1st, sometimes on the 5th if you like living dangerously. You reach into your back pocket, you pull me out, you open me up, and you perform the most painful ritual of your financial life. You pay the rent. It's not like buying a coffee. When you buy coffee, you get caffeine. It's not like buying a car. You get to drive the car. When you pay rent, you are buying time. You are buying the right to exist in a box for another 30 days. And once those 30 days are up, you have nothing. The money is gone, vaporized. It left me, traveled through the internet, and landed in someone else's pocket. I feel it every time. I feel the emptiness afterwards. I am your wallet. I see the transactions you regret. But rent? Rent is the one that keeps you awake at night. Lately, though, the noise has changed. You scroll through your phone, you see videos, smooth-talking guys in expensive studios. They tell you that this emptiness is actually good for you. They say renting is freedom. They say buying a house is for suckers. They say a mortgage is a ball and chain. Don't buy, they whisper. Just rent and live your life. It sounds nice. It sounds easy. No leaky roofs to fix, no property taxes, just swipe and stay. But I am here to tell you something. I deal with numbers. I deal with the cold, hard reality of what comes in and what goes out. And the math tells me that rent forever is not a strategy. It is a trap. It is a marketing campaign designed to turn you into a permanent customer. A subscription service for survival. Today, we are going to look at the receipt. We are going to audit the rent don't buy movement. We are going to break down why the math they show you is a lie. And we are going to talk about what happens to people like you, and wallets like me. When the music stops, you stop working, but the landlord is still waiting for his check. Let's open the books. The rent don't buy propaganda. Why is this happening? Why suddenly is the American dream of owning a home being rebranded as a financial mistake? It's about inventory. When you buy a house, you exit the market. You take a unit of housing off the shelf. You lock the door. You say, "This is mine." You stop bidding against other people. You stabilize your cost. The market hates that. The market wants churn. The market wants turnover. The market wants you to be a recurring revenue stream. The narrative you hear, that home ownership is a burden, is a sales pitch. They sell you mobility. They tell you that you need to be able to move at a moment's notice. What if you get a job in Tokyo? They ask. What if you want to become a digital nomad in Bali? Be honest with me. I see your debit card transactions. You aren't going to Tokyo. You aren't going to Bali. You go to Target. You go to the gas station. You go to work. Most people live their entire lives within a 20-mile radius. You build a community. You make friends. You have a favorite pizza place. The mobility argument is a solution to a problem you don't have. It convinces you to pay a premium for flexibility that you will never use. It's like renting a helicopter every day, just in case you need to fly to the hospital. Sure, it's flexible, but taking the bus is smarter. They tell you a house is a liability. They use fancy accounting terms. It takes money out of your pocket, therefore it is not an asset. That is word salad. Yes, a house costs money. But you have to live somewhere. Unless you plan to live in a tent under an overpass, housing is a mandatory expense. You have two choices. Choice A, you pay a mortgage. This pays down debt and eventually ends. Choice B, you pay rent. This pays someone else's debt and never ends. Calling a home a liability because it has maintenance costs is like calling your body a liability because you have to feed it. Yes, it costs money to keep running, but it's the vehicle for your entire life. The propaganda is designed to make you feel smart for owning nothing. It frames having no equity as being agile. It's not agility, it's fragility. When you rent, you are fragile. You are one lease renewal away from eviction. You are one ownership change away from having to pack your boxes. The people pushing this narrative aren't trying to free you. They are trying to keep you in the game. As long as you are renting, you are a player. You are bidding. You are paying. As soon as you buy, you win. And when you win, they stop making money off you. The hypocrisy index. This is the part that makes my stitching itch. Look at the people telling you to rent. Look at the financial celebrities. Look at the guys on the podcasts. Do a little digging. It's public record. Where do they put their money? They buy real estate. They don't just buy one house. They buy 10. They buy apartment complexes. They buy commercial buildings. They buy land. Wait a second. If real estate is such a terrible investment, why are the rich hoarding it? If owning a home is a trap, why are they trying to trap themselves as many times as possible? There is a massive disconnect here. They are telling you one thing and doing the exact opposite. They tell you renting is smart because capital is freed up. But then they take their capital and lock it up in bricks and mortar. Why? Because they know the truth. They know that real estate is the greatest wealth preservation tool in history. They know it offers tax breaks. They know it offers leverage. They know it tracks with inflation. They want to be the landlords. They need tenants. If everyone bought a house, who would pay off their apartment complexes? Who would fund their passive income lifestyle? They need you. They need you to believe that renting is superior, because if you stop renting, their business model collapses. It is the ultimate hypocrisy. It's like a butcher telling you that eating meat is bad for you, while he eats a steak behind the counter. He just wants to save the good cuts for himself. When a wealthy person tells you to rent, translate it. They are saying buying a home is a bad deal for you, the consumer, but it is a great deal for me, the investor. So please sign the lease. I have a mortgage to pay. Don't listen to what they say into the microphone. Watch where they sign the checks. I see checks. I know the difference. Flawed math and the invest the difference myth. Now we have to do some math. I know, you hate math. That's why you rely on me to hold the cards. But stay with me. The entire rent forever argument rests on one specific equation. It goes like this. Renting is cheaper than buying on a monthly basis. Therefore, if you rent, you can take the money you saved and invest it in the stock market. The stock market grows faster than real estate, so the renter wins. This is called invest the difference, on a spreadsheet in a perfect world populated by robots. This is sometimes true, but you are not a robot. You are a human being with impulses. Let's say renting costs $2,000. Buying costs $3,000. The spread is $1,000. The theory assumes that every single month for 30 years, you take that $1,000 and put it into an S&P 500 index fund. You never skip a month. You never panic sell when the market crashes. You never touch the money. I live in your pocket. I know what happens to extra money. You don't invest it, you eat it, you wear it, you drive it, you drink it. That $1,000 difference doesn't go into a brokerage account. It goes into lifestyle creep. You get a slightly nicer car, you get the better cable package, you go to sushi twice a week instead of once. The spread evaporates. But the homeowner, they don't have a choice. The bank sends a bill for $3,000. You have to pay it. If you don't, they take the house. A portion of that $3,000 is interest, garbage, but a portion is principal. That principal is savings. You are paying yourself. You are moving money from your left pocket to your right pocket. The mortgage forces you to save. It removes your willpower from the equation. Forced savings beats voluntary savings every single time because it doesn't require discipline. It just requires fear of foreclosure. And then there is leverage. The gurus always forget leverage. If you have $50,000 to invest in stocks and the market goes up 10%, you make $5,000. If you have $50,000 to buy a house, you don't buy a $50,000 house. You use it as a down payment, you buy a $500,000 house, the bank gives you the other $450,000. Now, let's say real estate goes up a boring 5%. 5% of $500,000 is $25,000. You turned your $50,000 into a $25,000 profit. That is a 50% return on your cash. The renter made $5,000. The homeowner made $25,000. Why? Because the homeowner is making money on the bank's money. The bank takes the risk of the loan. You take the reward of the appreciation. This is the secret weapon of the middle class. It is the only time in your life someone will lend you $500,000 at a low interest rate to buy an asset. You can't get that leverage in the stock market without risking margin calls and total ruin. In real estate, it's standard procedure. The math of renting only works if you are a disciplined investment machine with zero lifestyle inflation. I have met very few of those. Most people just spend what they have. The inflation trap. I hate inflation. It makes the paper inside me feel worthless. It's an invisible tax. But do you know who hates inflation more? Renters. When you sign a lease, you lock in a price for 12 months. That's it. Next year, the price goes up. Why? Because the landlord's costs went up. Insurance, taxes, repairs, or maybe he just wants a new Tesla. It doesn't matter. He passes the cost to you. Rent generally tracks with inflation. Sometimes it outpaces it. If you are 25 years old and your rent is $2,000, by the time you are 55, your rent could be $5,000 or $6,000. You are running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. You have to earn more money just to stay in the same place. Now look at the fixed rate mortgage. This is the magic product. You buy a house. Your payment is $20,500. 5 years go by. Inflation rages. A loaf of bread is $12. Your payment is still $20,500. 20 years go by. Wages have doubled. A coffee is $15. Your payment is still $20,500. You have frozen your biggest expense in time. You are paying off the debt with future dollars that are worth way less than today's dollars. Inflation becomes your friend. It erodes the real value of your debt. Meanwhile, your renter friend is getting crushed. He is fighting the market every single year. You opted out of the housing market back in year 1. By year 30, the homeowner's payment goes to zero. The renter's payment is higher than ever. This is the long game. The gurus focus on the monthly payment today. Oh, renting is $500 cheaper right now. Who cares about right now? We are talking about your life. We are talking about 30 years of compounding inflation. Short-term thinking keeps you poor. Long-term thinking builds wealth. A fixed mortgage is a hedge against a chaotic future. The subscription life agenda. You will own nothing and be happy. You've heard the phrase. It sounds like a conspiracy theory. But look at the business model of the world right now. Everything is a subscription. You used to buy movies on DVD. You owned them. Now you pay Netflix every month. If you stop paying, you have nothing. You used to buy songs on CD. Now you pay Spotify. You used to buy software on a disc. Now you pay Adobe a monthly fee. Wall Street loves subscriptions. They love recurring revenue. They hate one-time sales. If I sell you a house, I get paid once. If I rent you a house, I get paid forever. There is a massive shift happening. Institutional investors, the big guys, the hedge funds, the private equity firms are buying up single-family homes. They are buying entire neighborhoods. They aren't buying them to flip them. They aren't buying them to live in them. They are buying them to rent them back to you. They want to turn housing into a utility, like electricity, like water. You pay for it every month until you die, but you never own the pipes. When the finance experts tell you to rent, they are aligning you with this agenda. They are grooming you to be a perfect, compliant consumer. They want a class of permanent renters, a serf class. If you don't own assets, you have no power. You are at the mercy of the owner. If the owner is a faceless corporation using an algorithm to set rent prices, good luck negotiating. They want you liquid. They want you moving around. They don't want you putting down roots and saying, "This is mine." Because when you own, you become independent. You become harder to squeeze. Buying a home is an act of rebellion against the subscription economy. It is saying, I will buy this box, I will pay for it, and then I will stop paying for it, and it will be mine. That is dangerous to their bottom line. The forced savings effect. Let's look at the scoreboard. The Federal Reserve tracks the net worth of Americans. They split it into two groups, owners and renters. The gap is not small. It is not double. The average homeowner has a net worth roughly 40 times higher than the average renter. 40 times. Now, the skeptics will say, well, rich people buy houses, so of course they have more money. That is true, but it's not the whole story. The house makes them richer. It's the forced savings we talked about, but it's also the appreciation. Real estate is a store of value. It creates a floor for your net worth. Even if you are terrible with money, even if you spend every paycheck, if you pay your mortgage, you are building wealth. I have seen inside the wallets of renters who make $200,000 a year. They have nothing saved. They spend it all on experiences, clothes, and high-end rentals. I have seen inside the wallets of homeowners who make $60,000 a year. After 30 years, they have a paid-off house worth $500,000. The tortoise beats the hare. The boring, forced savings of a mortgage beats the flashy, high-income renter who lacks discipline. The house acts as a piggy bank that is really hard to break open. You can't raid your home equity at 2 a.m. to buy crypto. The illiquidity is a feature, not a bug. It protects the money from you. Renters have total liquidity. Their cash is accessible, and accessible cash gets spent. I know. I'm the one who opens up to let it out. The retirement nightmare. This is the scary part. This is the ghost story I tell other wallets around the campfire. Imagine you are 75 years old. You can't work anymore. Your back hurts. You are tired. You have a fixed income, Social Security, maybe a small 401k. Let's say you have $20,500 a month coming in. Scenario A, the renter. You rented your whole life. You enjoyed the flexibility. But now, thanks to inflation, rent for a decent apartment is $3,000 a month. You can't afford it. Your income is $2,500. Your rent is $3,000. You are in trouble. Real trouble. You have to move to a bad neighborhood, or you have to move in with your kids if they have room, or you rely on the state. You are vulnerable. The landlord doesn't care that you are 75. Pay or get out. The stress is crushing. Scenario B, the owner. You bought a house 30 years ago. You struggled. It was tight, but you paid it off. Your mortgage is $0. You still pay property taxes and insurance. Let's say that's $600 a month. Your income is $2,500. Your housing cost is $600. You have $1,900 left over for food, medicine, and grandkids. You are safe. No one can kick you out. You have a massive asset, the house itself, that you can sell if you need money for a nursing home later. You have dignity. This is what the rent forever crowd ignores. They only look at the math of being 30 years old. They ignore the math of being 80 years old. Owning a paid-off home is the ultimate retirement plan. It drastically reduces your burn rate. It makes your money last longer. If you rent forever, you have to save a mountain of cash just to pay the landlord until you die. If you own, you just need to keep the lights on, escaping the trap. I hear you. You're yelling at your screen right now. But Mr. Wallet, have you seen the prices? I can't afford a house. The boomers took everything. I know. I see the prices. I feel your pain. The market is brutal, but complaining about the market doesn't get you a set of keys. The rent forever gurus are capitalizing on your hopelessness. They see that you are frustrated, so they tell you, it's okay, you don't want a house anyway. They are bad. It's sour grapes. They are telling you the grapes are sour, so you stop reaching for them. Don't let them do that. The grapes are sweet. You just need a ladder. How do you escape? You have to lower your expectations. Social media ruined your perception of a first home. You think you need granite countertops. You think you need an open floor plan. You think you need a backyard oasis. Forget that. Your first home is not your dream home. Your first home is a life raft. Buy the ugly house. Buy the condo with the weird carpet. Buy the townhouse that smells like old people. You aren't buying a lifestyle. You are buying a financial instrument that you can sleep inside. Look at programs like FHA loans. You only need 3.5% down. Yes, you pay mortgage insurance. Who cares? It gets you on the ladder. Look at house hacking. This is the cheat code. Buy a duplex. Live in one side. Rent out the other. Let a tenant pay half your mortgage. Or all of it. You become the landlord. You use their system against them. It requires sacrifice. It means living in a smaller space. It means painting walls on your weekend instead of going to brunch. But the alternative is paying $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 over your lifetime to a stranger and having zero to show for it at the end. When you rent, you burn your labor. When you buy, you store your labor. The bricks hold the value of your work. That's all for today. If you want to see Mr. Wallet covering other topics, make sure to subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments which videos do you want to see.